Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Jessica. If you are, this is my deck of panning update for the month of October, and I'm a few days late. My apologies. Busy time of year around here. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays to celebrate, and I am gearing up for our big Disneyland trip that I do with my group of friends every year, where we always do a fun group costume. So that has been occupying a lot of my time in the past couple of days. So my apologies for this late video, but I'm excited to film this update. I do have some things rolling out and things that are very close to being rolling out. And I will be drawing some new cards today. So if you would like to see how I'm doing in this project, definitely stay tuned. Before we get started, I have to, of course, give props to Emily from Emily and Max, who created this makeup project here on YouTube. She was inspired by a booktuber, Books with Maddie, who uses a deck of cards to help her to choose from her TBR book list. And in this case, we are using a deck of cards to help us to choose a makeup item or some kind of beauty care item to work on in this project. One of my favorites to do because it is so flexible. You really can make it your own and choose things to bring in your collection that you want to work on. And it also allows you to shop your stash. Most of the goals in this project are not super long-term, although I do have a couple long-term goals this year. But mostly I just get to play with my makeup collection and bring things in that are otherwise neglected. So let's get right on into this video and talk about the 5 items I am currently working on in this project. Starting off with that long haul item, I've been working on this bronzer from Hourglass since January. And at first my goal was just to use it as much as I could during the course of this year. But my progress has been so great on this bronzer that I am hoping that I should be able to finish this up during the course of this project. I brought this in for a Black King, which is something that already has a pan, and it has been so fun to watch this pan expand over the course of the year. So here's what this bronzer was looking like when I first brought it into the project in January. It had a pan on it, but it was pretty small. I have been working on this bronzer diligently over this past year, and it has been so much fun to watch this pan get bigger and bigger and bigger every single month that we do these updates. I absolutely love this bronzer. It is one of my favorite bronzers in my collection, and I've had it for many years, so it is very satisfying to finally get to see the use on it that I've gotten on it this year. And it's a very expensive bronzer, so it also feels great to know that I've gotten my money's worth on this bronzer and that it's no longer just sitting in my drawer going to waste. Here's what it was looking like last month. We had just 3 corners of product remaining in this bronzer. In the past month, I reached for it 32 times, making for 221 uses total during the course of this year. And here's what this bronzer is looking like today. And it actually is even smaller than I thought it would be at this point. I thought it would take me about a month to wear away each corner, but as you can see, we are basically down to just 1 remaining corner of product left. There's a little bit remaining in this lower right corner here, but most of the product is in the left corner, and I think that I should have this finished up by the next update. I really have scraped these upper corners as much as I could to get any remaining product off, and there is just that little bit to go. And since I was able to go through 2 corners in the course of a month, I think that this last corner should take me maybe 2 weeks to get through, if that. So that is just so exciting. Maybe like 14 more uses or less, and this one will be empty and rolled out. And that is just going to be so satisfying. I love finishing up a bronzer. Something about a bronzer always feels like a great accomplishment. There's just always a lot of product in them, and they take a long time to pan, especially a baked bronzer like this. This is a huge accomplishment for me in my panning world, and I'm just so thrilled to see this amount of use on this bronzer, and I'll be a little bit sad to see it go. But this is a bronzer that I would potentially repurchase someday, not anytime soon. I have a lot of bronzers to get through still, but maybe in a couple years, once I make my way through those other bronzers in my collection, this might be the next one I pick up because I do still love it so, so much. I love the ambient lighting formula in general. I love Hourglass powders as a whole, even though this one's like around $50. For me, it's worth the price, especially for how long it lasted me in my collection. So that is the first one. Very excited to show you an empty pan in the next update. So stay tuned for that. Speaking of Hourglass, my next item is also an Hourglass product, even though it is in a Charlotte Tilbury compact. This is an Hourglass Franken Blush. This is 2 separate blushes that broke, and I pressed together into this compact so I could save it and really enjoy that product, not waste it just because it got broken. And I brought this into the project 2 months ago for a Blackjack, which is a powder product. And of course, this is a powder blush, but I've basically been using it as a highlighter or a blush topper, some days as a blush on its own, but it's a very very sheer formula, so mostly as a highlight, which has been beautiful. It's a very natural looking highlight, and I have quite enjoyed reaching for it. So here's what this little Franken Blush was looking like when I first brought it into the project in July. My goal for this item is to hit pan on it. I reached for it 23 times in the first month, and here's what it was looking like last month. I don't know if you'll see much of a difference, but there was a slight little shallow dip in that pan, and this is a very shallow compact. I reached for this product exactly 30 times during the past month, making for 53 uses total, and here is this powder today. And ba-bam, as you can see, it has a huge pan on it. I hit pan on this maybe around the 40th use, and then those last 13 uses, estimating, is gotten me that expanded pan, and it is quite a lovely size pan to look at. And there was quite a considerable amount of product used in those 53 uses. So even in the side, you can see how shallow that product is, how wide the pan is, how easily I could expand that pan. If I kept this in the project or just kept working on it, I think I could use this up in the course of several months, and maybe I will do that next year. But for now, this is my first rollout of the month, which is very exciting. I was able to hit that goal in just 2 months, and it feels great to know that I got use on a beautiful product that otherwise would have just been thrown away and wasted if I wasn't the economical makeup user that I am. I love Hourglass blushes. I'm not going to throw away good product. It broke inside the compact when I did drop that compact, and it was from one of my favorite blush trios from Hourglass, so I'm so happy that I was able to save it and use it and love it and continue to love it as we move forward. But for now, this is going to roll out, and I feel very satisfied with that, and maybe we'll finish this one up in the coming year. This next item is a blush from NYX, and it has been depotted. This is an old blush back when they had their square, like kind of studded black packaging. That's where this blush is from, and it is a bright, bright orange blush, as you can see, and this was just perfect for the prompt. I brought this in when I drew a red queen, which is to pick your own space, and I decided to choose the random color generator just because I'd never done that prompt before, and I generated the color Pure Orange, which, as you can imagine, was very close to this color here. Could this blush be any more orange? I don't think so. So I'm really enjoying this blush. It's kind of tricky to use. You have to be very light-handed with it. And I do have this on my cheeks today. It's pretty bold. It's nice for on camera though. But when I wear it to work, I have to be ever so light with it so I don't end up looking like a clown when I am teaching, because I already look like that on a normal day. We don't need to add to that with orange blush. But overall, it is a nice blush, especially for this time of year, and it would especially be pretty in the summer, I think, when my skin's a little bit more tan. So my goal for this blush was to use it 10 times. I reached for it 4 times during the first month, and then this month I reached for it an additional 4 times, including today, making for 8 uses total. So I have not hit my 10 use goal. I still have 2 more uses to go on this, which is a little unfortunate. I was hoping to reach that goal, but again, it's just such a pigmented and bright blush. It's hard to reach for on a regular basis. I try and save it for the weekends, but if I am very careful with it, I can get away with it at work. I just need to make sure I'm really paying attention when I apply it that morning. So this one is going to stay in, but I think I might draw a card to replace it just because I know I'm going to hit that goal pretty quickly, and I'm also going to hit that goal of finishing up that bronzer within the next month. So why not bring in a new product to work on? We're getting close to the end of this project this year, and I just want to get use on as many things in my collection and have as much fun with this project as I can. So that one's staying in, but it's going to be kind of like replaced a little bit. So this one will stay in, but I'll bring in something to wait in the wings once I do reach that 10 use goal on this one. This next item has a very similar story, and it is this lipstick that actually I'm wearing today. This is from Revolution Makeup, and this is the shade Rebel Rust. I absolutely love this shade. It's the perfect burnt orange lip. I think it's perfect for fall. It wears beautifully on the lips. It's a little bit drying, so that's not the most pleasant all the time, but I just love how it wears throughout the day. It really does last, and even when it starts to wear away, it still looks okay. You know, it doesn't wear away like super blotchy or just like in the inner part. It really wears evenly off. So I really do enjoy the formula a lot. And I love, love, love this color. October is just screaming this lipstick, and I have loved having it in this project. So my goal for this also was to use it 10 times. I reached for it 4 times during the first month and then 5 times during this past month, making for 9 uses total. So we are 1 use short of that 10 use goal, which is again a little bit frustrating, but I will not mind at all keeping this in my project for 1 more month and using it at least 1 more time or maybe a couple more. And again, I am going to bring in a card to replace this item because because while it will stay in, I want another thing waiting in the wings that I can work on once I do reach that 10 use goal on this lipstick. But for now, that one's staying in, and I am a little bit disappointed in myself, but not mad at this shade at all. Happy to have it around. And this last item came in just last month. It is the Haunted Europe palette from Nomad Cosmetics. I brought this into my project when I drew the 10 of Spades, which is a random letter generator, and I randomly generated the letter H, which was just perfect because I absolutely wanted to work on this palette. I'm trying to hit a pan in this palette before this year is up, and not only does this palette start with the letter H, but the shade that I'm focusing on here also starts with the letter H, which is Hoya Bashu Forest. So my goal for this overall was to use all of the shades at least one time, and I'm also trying to hit that one pan in that shade right there, Hoya Bashu. I've had a lot of fun reaching for this palette, but I wish I had been reaching for it a little bit more, but we are still in the Halloween season, and I just love that I can work on this during the month of October and around my favorite holiday. So I'm gonna be bringing this with me on my trip down to Anaheim and Disneyland and wearing it down there. And then I'm also gonna really just try and focus on it in the next few days around Halloween so I can hit that goal of hitting every shade at least one time. I have used most of these shades, but there's a few shades I haven't reached for yet, including Frankenstein, Grendel, Mary Cemetery, Highgate Cemetery, basically that whole row of greens. And then we have yet to reach for that purple Krampus, and that one is one that I definitely intend to reach for around Halloween to wear with my little witchy outfit that I have planned for Disneyland. And really the oranges will be beautiful for that too. So we have a ways to go on this palette, but all the other shades I have used, and I've reached for Hoya Bashu, I think twice, which is a little disappointing, but I am starting to see a slight little dip and disturbance in the surface of that pan. I have no idea how deep these pans are, so that's going to be a little bit of a mystery for me as far as how many uses it's going to take for me to hit that pan. But this formula is very soft, so I think once I really focus on that shade, it should be pretty easy for me to hit a pan on it. But we shall see. In the meantime, I just need to remember to reach for it, and having this palette alongside me during this next week will help me to get there and beyond, I'm sure. So that one also is staying in, and I'm hopeful that by December 20th, when we end this project, I should have a pan on that palette and hit my goal on this palette that I had for the year, which was to finally hit a pan on it. It's one of the few remaining palettes in my collection yet to have a pan, and hopefully that will not be the case much longer. The only product that is officially rolling out is that Franken Blush from Hourglass. So we are very happy with that pan, and I'm going to be drawing another card to replace this one. And since I'm so close to my goal on this blush as well as on this lipstick, I'm going to be replacing those items as well with the card. So that's 3 cards I'm going to draw. And even though I am very close to finishing this bronzer, because it's going to take me probably at least a week or more to finish it, we'll just leave this one in the project. And of course, that eyeshadow palette is also staying in. I'm ready with my deck of cards here, my adorable little Mandalorian cards with baby Grogu featured in this round pod-shaped deck of cards. That is quite the challenge to shuffle, but I only have 2 more months of this challenge, and it's been a fun little journey along the way. So I'm going to shuffle these cards up, but before I do, I'll make sure I show you that I am including the Joker in this deck. Look at our handsome husband right there, our little hall pass, Mr. Mandalorian. We're going to stick that into the middle. And while I'm shuffling these cards very awkwardly, you can take a look at the game board for the month. So the face cards in this project always stay the same. That's the Queen, King, Jack, and the Ace cards. But the numbered cards always are shuffled each month by Emily, so the game board stays refreshed each and every month to keep things interesting for us. I haven't even looked at any of the prompts yet, so I have no idea what's even possible to come in. So we're just gonna find this out together. Let me just do a little set. There you go. And I'm gonna try and shuffle it one more time down below the old-fashioned way. It's just really hard to do. Oh, that was like one of the better shuffles I've ever done. Could you hear that? Could you hear that shuffle happening? Let me try one more time. I feel like I'm getting onto something here. After 9 months, we're finally getting the hang of shuffling round cards. Okay, that was okay. All right, so that's my shuffle. Let's go ahead and cut the deck. And those 3 cards are going to be my 3 cards. And, you know, I'm just feeling a little ambitious this month, bringing in these extra cards. We're going to have 7 products in this project. But, you know, we're just going out with a bang this year. So let's see what that first card is. Okay, we have a red jack, which I'm not sure what that is. I forget. I can never remember what face cards are. Card number 2 is a black ace. And Card number 3 is the 3 of hearts. Okay, so we have avoided the Joker again. All right, let's see where it was though. I'm gonna start from the bottom, try and find that Joker so we can see how close I came. I really haven't been close at all this year. We've been quite lucky. The Joker, if you do get the Joker, you have to pan something that you really don't want to pan, which of course you can make it fit your own needs. It can be something you really love or something that you don't want to use up or something that you really don't like using or something that is a really big challenge for you to use. There it was. There's the Joker. It was all the way down there from the top of the deck. So we weren't even close, thank goodness. So let me see what those prompts are. That red Jack is for a cream or liquid product. I definitely can accommodate that prompt quite easily. The black Jack is my get out of jail free card. So I'm not sure how I want to use that. I think maybe you save it for later and then draw another card. And then the 3 of hearts is wish you returned. That's an interesting one. So let me figure out what to do for this get out of jail free card. So the black ace, the get out of jail free card, is a Monopoly reference. It replaces the veto from previous years of this project. I'm supposed to keep this for future use. I'm not going to add it back into my deck, and I'll save this if I need to for the next 2 months. I doubt that I will. I rarely veto items, but I will follow the rules for the project, and I do need to draw an additional card from my deck and pick an additional prompt. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these cards one more time just because I already saw where the Joker was and I want to keep things interesting. Okay, let's cut the deck right there and see what that new prompt is. It is the King of Clubs. Gosh, so many face cards this month. That is a black king, which is, I forgot, of course, something that already has a pan. I always get that prompt. I get it so many times. So let me go through my collection and see what I can find for a liquid product, something I wish I returned, and something that already has a pan. I'm back and I had a lot of fun choosing those products, and what I love so much about this project, which I always say, is that you really can make it work for you and really make it your own. Bend these prompts to fit your needs, and I always love doing that for myself. So for the red Jack, a liquid or cream product, I decided to bring in some liquid lipsticks. Yes, liquid lipsticks. More than one. And that's because I couldn't decide on a shade. And these are both 2 beautiful fall shades that I want to get use on. So I decided to reach for my Maybelline Superstay Vinyl Ink liquid lipsticks. And I brought in the only 2 shades that I have in this formula, Keen and Fearless, because they are both such gorgeous tones for the fall. And I already know I love this shade. It's super easy to wear. It's gorgeous for this time of year. It's not too different from what I'm wearing on my lips today. Maybe it's a little bit more of a pinky orange or orangey nude, but it's just gorgeous on the lips. I absolutely love this formula. It lasts all day, wears beautifully, and I already know I want to wear this in Disneyland. So I'm going to put this at 3 uses for the next month. And for Fearless, I'm going to put at 2 uses. This is such a deep, beautiful chocolate brown shade. I love a statement brown like this on the lip in the fall time, and I otherwise probably wouldn't reach for it if it wasn't in a project, maybe once or twice a year. So why not bring it into this project and force myself to get some use on it? So combined, we have 5 uses total with these liquid lipsticks, 3 and 2, and I think I should be able to do that within the course of a month and have these rolled out next month. I'm counting this as 1 item and bringing it in for 1 prompt, but I'm getting use on 2 liquid lipsticks in my collection. So that is my first item, and I'm very, very excited about these. Can't wait to create a makeup look with this statement brown lip, and this one's just gorgeous for daily wear. For the 3 of hearts, something I wish I returned. This was kind of a no-brainer because there aren't many things in my collection I wished I returned except for one. So this is from NYX. This is their Butter Gloss in the clear shade. The shade is called Sugar Glass. And I really do wish I returned this because I already have a lot of glosses in my collection. Plenty of glosses to get me through the next couple of years at least. I purchased this around Halloween of last year for my Halloween costume. We were doing a grayscale makeup look, so I wanted a gloss that didn't have any pigment to it. So I purchased this clear gloss thinking I would need it, but I didn't open it at all. I realized I didn't even need a gloss. We were wearing a matte liquid lipstick, a black matte liquid lipstick, and I was not going to apply gloss over it because that was just going to take away from the long wear of that liquid lipstick. So I never even opened this. It just sat in my drawer. Does it still have the plastic on it? No, I think I finally took the plastic off of it. But my intention was to return it since I never even opened it, get my $7 back, but I just never got around to it. And at that point, I was like, forget it. I'll just throw it in my drawer and I'm sure I'll get use on it someday. And that day is today. I haven't been carrying around a gloss in my purse for the past several months and I really have been missing it. So I'm excited to just stick this into my purse and have it to reapply throughout the day to give myself a little bit of shine and boost in my look. And this will be easy for me to do that with. So my goal for this one is going to be to use it 10 times. I think I should be able to blow that usage goal out of the water in the next month. And that will be 10 days of wearing it, not just 10 applications, 10 separate days of applying this. That should be very easy for me to do and I'll be able to roll this out by the next update. But it'll be great for me to get some use on this and not just have it sit in my drawer and have that $7 I spent on it be wasted when I could have returned it. And my last item is something that already has a pan on it. So since I rolled out that Franken Blush, which I basically used as a highlighter or a blush topper, I decided to bring in another highlighter into this project. And this one is, of course, from Becca. This is the shade Opal, probably the oldest highlighter that I have in my collection and one of my favorites as well. It's really the highlighter that made me fall in love with highlighter. There it is in a swatch. It's very subtle, very neutral, great for every day. You can see it already has a massive pan on it. And I think it even had a pan on it when I got it. Someone gave me this highlighter. It was a little hand-me-down, but it still has a lot of life in it. And I've gotten a lot of use on it and I continue to use it, but I haven't used it in a long time. So I thought it would be a great item to bring into this project. I think I'm just going to keep this in for the remainder of the year, not really set a usage goal on it. I'm just going to use it for the next 2 months, use it as much as I can, probably almost every day that I do my makeup, and see how big I can get that pan over the next 2 months. So that will be my goal for this one. We'll see what I'm able to do with it. And I'm just happy that it's going to get some use because it has been neglected for probably over a year or more at this point. And that is just unacceptable for such a beautiful product. There's the swatch of Opal, a little bit better swatch for you right now. And as you can see, it's gorgeous, very neutral. You can wear this with any makeup look, cool toned, warm toned, winter, summer. It's a great shade for my skin tone. I'm excited to reach for it again. So that is all for my project pan update. We have a lot of items in this project right now, which makes me a little bit nervous, but I think we have a lot of things rolling out by the next update. Definitely this bronzer, this lipstick will be rolling out, the blush will definitely be rolling out, and I think I should be able to hit my goal on these lip items by the next update, and this one will be a nice little kind of mini long haul to wrap up the remainder of this year with. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a quick thumbs up before you leave. It really does help me out a lot and means a lot to me to have all of your support. I'm sending my love out to you wherever you are in the world that this video finds you. I hope you're doing well. I'm wishing you a happy Halloween. I hope you enjoy the festivities and have a great time dressing up with your friends and family. And I hope to see you in my next video. But until then, take care. Bye.